Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It's a Wednesday, the final public practice for Green Bay Packers camp of 2023 is in the books, and by all accounts, it was a hot one. As you guys know, I escaped the great state of Wisconsin and am back in New York, but certainly got plenty of reporting around the fact that it was HOT out at Ray Nitschke Field earlier today. The Packers moving up practice, LaFleur scheduling it a few hours earlier than originally scheduled, simply to try to escape the afternoon and the heat and all the problems that come with it. But the Packers were out there, and great shots of the players after practice thanking fans, those that had stuck around in said heat. Another training camp in the books. Kind of crazy. Just waiting for it all off season. Then it arrives, and then it's a whirlwind, and now it's done. Packers obviously have one more practice tomorrow prior to the preseason game against the Seahawks on Saturday. And then get that week off. It's the regular season, baby. Can you believe it? We are so close to actual, real football that matters. I can't believe it myself. But yeah, too darn hot out there. And hey, how great is it that Rashan Gary is out there wrecking people by all reports that the one-on-ones from scrimmage, the guy is absolutely blowing by people, looking like his old self. That is encouraging stuff. Now, there's a ways to go yet, but sure seems like he is on track to be out there week one against the Bears, which, man, if you're an opponent, you got some problems on the edge when the Green Bay Packers come to town, and that's exciting. That is certainly exciting. Hello to everybody in the comments. Before I get to everyone, I see people chopping it up already, so good to see so many regulars here, as usual. I'm going to give a shout-out to our good friends over at Ticket King. That's right. If you want to watch the 2023 Green Bay Packers do their thing, either home games, away games, you want to utilize Ticket King, people. Go to Cheesehead TV, use our website or our app. You'll find individualized links for each and every game. Use Ticket King if you want to watch the Green Bay Packers play football this year. Don't use Ticketmaster. Don't use StubHub or SeatGeek. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s. Hell, they got a spot right across from Lambeau Field there on Oneida Street in Green Bay. Or you can just use the link in the description of this video. Whatever you do, use Ticket King when you want to get Green Bay Packers tickets in 2023. Do it, people. You know you want to. Hello to everybody in the comments section. So good to see everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Oh, so what's up, Dennis? So good to see. Dennis is such a stalwart here every single day. Dale, good evening from London. Good afternoon from New York. I am sorry that our paths did not line up when I was in Wisconsin. I know you were in Door County for some time, but now apparently you are back in London. I hope you had a great trip to Door County. Gorgeous up there this time of year. But glad to see you're home, safe and sound. Brandy's here. Hello, Brandy. How are you? Sup, Aaron? Go Packers, baby. Jeffrey Smith, talking that talk. That's right. Glenn, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Go Pack, go. See, it's a simple message, and it's so kind of classic in its timelessness. That's a super chat well spent, my friend. Well done. Thank you so much for the support. Soder, how you doing, man? Thanks for the super chat. Who had the best camp? I will go with Walker. I mean, Walker had the most surprising camp. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think anybody was calling Rasheed Walker to suddenly be rolling with the ones by the second to last week of camp. I certainly didn't have that on my bingo card this offseason. So, yeah, just in that regard, it certainly seemed to take the biggest jump for a guy who basically redshirted his first year in the league to now be in the mix legitimately and playing quality snaps in preseason games with the first team. I'll take it, man. No doubt about it. Ian, caught alive. Let's go. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Irving, how are you doing, man? Thanks for super chat. No question. Just name my fantasy team, please. Yeah, wow, such pressure, Irving. Why don't I open that to the floor here? If you guys got good unused fantasy names or a fantasy name that Irving here can borrow, throw it in the comments because God knows I'm terrible at this stuff. I mean, for the longest time I was the Appleton Arsenal. And that's boring, but it was just alliteration. And I won a title with it, so that's fine. And now I co-manage a team that has a terrible name. So, yeah, I'm terrible at this. But if someone else wants to chime in with any ideas for Irving's fantasy team, please do so. Any news concerning Wyatt's health after leaving practice today? No, nothing yet, Michael. Not that I've seen reported or heard. Always good to just kind of let that breathe for a bit, give it 24 hours. Most likely the updates will come from either Domofsky or Schneidman sometime over the course of the evening and or tomorrow morning. But no, I haven't seen anything. Any updates? Yao, I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name, but you've got a great comment here. If you read most of the press people following closely, you get the impression that Love is constantly improving throughout camp. What is your view on his evolution? That's a very good question, man. I don't know if I read it as he's constantly improving. I think there are ups and downs each and every day. I think there's a real tendency from Jordan so far to start slowly. And I think as the day goes on, most of the days that I was there, he would improve as the day went on. But then come back and kind of almost reset the next day, and a couple misses, a couple overthrows, etc. But the more he plays, the more he gets into a rhythm. And look, there's no simple solution here, right? Brett Favre did the same thing for years. I mean, he had been playing for years, and he did that in games where he'd come out just kind of just spraying the ball over the yard, and it would usually take a good quarter for him to settle in. Sometimes it took him getting hit to finally dial in. I don't know. There's a lot of kind of moving parts there. Some of it's who he's playing with, the receivers, the line, what have you. But he does seem to have a tendency to start a little sporadic and then really start to dial in each and every practice. So, again, I don't think there's any easy solution for that. But as far as like his trajectory over camp, I haven't really gotten the sense that it's been this steady growth. I think he's been good. I think he's been inconsistent. And I think that's probably going to be the case for much of the season. There are going to be, and you got anybody who's been here throughout the offseason knows, it's kind of my mantra at this point. There are going to be real frustrating parts. There are going to be moments and stretches where he is going to miss receivers that seem to be somewhat easy throws, and then he's going to make throws that you go, wow, we really fit it in there. I think that's going to be the case for much of the season. And the way he gets better in that regard is and as Brian has said many, many times, he has to play. He's got to play a lot, and he will this year. And hopefully, as the season goes on, the more he plays, some of that will fall away. But it's the trials and tribulations. First-year starter in the league. Defenses, probably throw the kitchen sink at him at first, trying to get an idea of where he struggles and then trying to hone in on that through tape evaluation. But, yeah, I mean, I think he's so much better than a lot of people probably expected, but I haven't seen like this incredible jump throughout camp. I just think there's been a very good display, yet inconsistent. But I think that's totally expected. Totally expected. What else we got here, folks? Oh, don't want to miss any super chats. Dennis, what's up, man? To the extent this season is like a new romance, we might take a loss when we meet the family. Oh, that's quite good, Dennis. That's quite good. Esteban, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, I'm coming from Costa Rica to the Chargers game. You think Corey can give me a couple of carry the G's? I have to try it. Any tips to enjoy the game? Well, just make sure you check out my top things to do in Green Bay video here on the YouTube channel. As far as carry the G's, they will be widely available for purchase wherever you go in the city of Green Bay when you arrive. That said, we'll see about maybe being able to hook you up with carry the G. But, hey, man, have the best time. That's awesome that you're coming to town. And the Chargers game will be fun. It'll be the Corey Linsley reunion. It'll be a good time. John, thanks for the super chat, man. Sterling robbed again. Good for Mongo. I hate seeing guys get in after they've passed. Nothing has changed other than that they died. See Ron Santo. Yeah, Sterling Sharpe shafted again by the committee. Can't say I'm surprised. As Justice intimated on Twitter, though, man, next year we are going on an all-out assault when it comes to promoting Sterling Sharpe. And this is a very key phrase here. When we go about trying to get Sterling into the Hall of Fame next year, we have to promote him. Do not attack selectors. Do not attack people with the Hall. Promote Sterling and his greatness. That is the most effective way of going about it. I see so many people already on Twitter, once the news kind of arrived this afternoon, cursing out the tagging Pro Football Hall, going after selectors. Don't do that. You are only hurting him when you do that. Promote his greatness. Be annoying with how much you promote his greatness. That's our key for the next 365 days. That's what we have to do. Jeff, thanks for the super chat, man. Tuned in late today. How did our kicker do today? Do I need to send out the bat signal? Jeff, I'm gonna beg you, and I'm glad you asked this question. I'm gonna beg you and everyone else. I'm gonna implore you. Take a deep breath and just know that you can't control it, and it's going to be whatever it is, and it's probably going to be up and down all year. But the Packers have made it abundantly clear that it would take 2 car wrecks, a plane crash, and an asteroid hitting the Earth for them to cut ties with this kid. So let's just relax and know that the journey will be a bumpy one, but the Packers are in it for the long haul. So that we have no choice but to be in it for the long haul. That check is in the mail, so to speak. What else we got here, folks? What else we got? Doug is here. What's up, Doug? How you doing, man? Carrie, how are you, man? Thanks for watching on Facebook. Nags, I remember Favre using smelling salts to get him in wake-up mode, beginning of games. A lot of guys used to do that. It's not so prevalent now, but yes, 100%. He would hit that right before kickoff. Let's go sports. How are you, man? Hi, Aaron. How's the weather in New York City? Much nicer than it is in Milwaukee, I'll tell you that. I saw it hit 100 degrees proper in Milwaukee, Wisconsin today. Whew, baby. No, it's gorgeous here in New York. Not to rub it in your face or anything, Wisconsin, but yeah, it's a gorgeous day here in New York City. What else we got here, folks? Fantasy name, second string. There you go. Was Ed West Adam West's nephew? Brandy, you're too much. Mike. Mike with the hard-hitting questions right here. Better all-time Packer blocking tight end, Big Dog or Ed West? You're going to come after the toolbox like that? I'm kidding. Hey, look, I love the toolbox, but, I mean, you can't hold it. I mean, you talk about just as a blocking tight end, you got to go with Big Dog. Big Dog took people's souls, man. Big Dog, like, controlled defensive ends. And I love Ed West, but, yeah, I got to give the nod to Big Dog. Daniel, when will Carry the G beer come to Brazil? Wendell could do it. Man, we just got to take over Wisconsin first, like, let alone the rest of the country and or international sales. Like, let's slow down here. But to that end, make sure you check out Cheesehead TV on the homepage. You'll see a link on the top to beer, which takes you to the Cheesehead TV Carry the G page. And we have an updated list of where it is currently right now available in the Milwaukee area. Wider distribution is coming in the next week to 10 days. I'm very excited. It's going to be a good year. That's all I'll say about that. Hey, Dennis, what a comment here. Hey, buddy. Hey, Dennis. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. I love it. AJ Young, thanks to the Super Chat, man. Who ranks higher in Packers history, Donald Driver or Jordy Nelson? Well, strictly by the numbers, it's Donald Driver. He's the all-time leading receiver. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're talking about, right, and what areas. But strictly receiving, yardage, it's Donald Driver. As far, like, they're different receivers, though. You know, Donald was very much a do the dirty work over the middle, did it for 2 great quarterbacks, and got a lot of yak, etc. Whereas Jordy was more of a technician, was great, obviously, at that corner post that he hit so many touchdowns with Aaron. Great sideline control, acrobatic at times in that regard. I mean, very different receivers. They were asked to do very different things. But if you want to talk, like, strictly numbers, I mean, Donald's got the pelts on the wall. And clearly, I mean, Jordy missed, that year because of the injury in preseason and things like that, which obviously set him back. But, yeah, numbers-wise, it's Donald. Like, no question. What else we got? Worldwide, let's go. Do kickers develop like other positions? That is an excellent question, nerdy guy. And I suspect that, the Packers are looking at this through the lens, especially because Bisaccia has worked with Carlson's brother and saw how quick the Vikings were to pull the plug under Mike Zimmer. You couple that experience, right, that he had. Now, Carlson has gone on to become a very good kicker, right? You couple that with the Packers' own institutional knowledge of Mason Crosby and how they stuck with him when he struggled. And yes, I understand Mason had become a very good kicker and then struggled, and then they stuck with him, and then he rebounded and regained his form, right? But you take those two pieces of information and you look at how the Packers are treating this kid, and it sure seems like they're of the mindset that, yes, we understand there will be inconsistencies and struggles early on, but we think by investing in him long term, he will be our long-term answer at the position. Now, are they right or are they wrong? I guess we're going to find out. But I'll just point to this. They take a lot of guff for how they handle quarterback, and they've seemingly done a pretty damn good job at that position. So, we'll see. We shall see. Hi, Nags. Is there a chance we play the Jets next year? Someone told me they could if they finish with the same record. I believe, yes, there is a chance because it's lined up by, what do you call it? Divisions. But then outside of that, because like last year they played the AFC East, so they wouldn't be in the rotation for the AFC East again next year. But there are two other games where that could be a possibility. But I think it's an outside one. Dude, the Sterling situation is a goddamn shame. You can't put any plainer than that. You are correct. Soder, Jets are not going 17-0. I see what you did there, and I like it. I like it a lot. Why do teams use two different players for punt and kick returns? Is it skill set or fear of injury? Much more the former than the latter. Yes, it's quite a different experience and or thing / skill set, what have you, that is required and or on display when you're returning a punt as opposed to returning a kick. Obviously, you get a lot more lead up in a kick return than you do with a punt return, where you have to make quick determinations and be able to sidestep that initial rush and be able to maneuver in a lot of traffic almost right away sometimes. It's very, very different. No doubt about it. Starting to see a lot of people are starting to believe in love. Prolific? I do enjoy it. I like it a lot. Rick, did you hear Cobby's message to the other Jets receivers? I did. I'm not going to talk too much about it because he plays for the Jets. But I think we're just a few weeks away from our first outburst and or hand signals article. Can't wait. Do you buy the statement that we have an all-time deep D-line and edge group franchise-wise? Whoa, George. George Costanza here, dropping some bombs in the YouTube comment section. Do I buy a statement that we have an all-time deep D-line? All-time? Okay, let's relax. Now I know the games need to start. Okay, can we just relax? Do I buy that? No, I don't. Simply because they haven't played a down that matters. The young guys, right? Let's slow down, people. Wow. Vex, thanks for the super chat, man. Sterling Sharpe is a no-doubt Hall of Famer. I mean, he should be, Vex. He should be. It's ridiculous that he's not in. It's ridiculous, again, that he didn't get in this year. It's patently absurd. But like I said, we got to promote his greatness. Do not go after the Hall. Promote his greatness. Nags, who will sit in last preseason game? Are you concerned about injuries? No more so than any other football game. It's a sport we love and we play and we watch it and we consume it, and injuries are part of it every single snap. So, no, I don't worry about injuries. But who will sit? I have zero doubt that David Bakhtiari will not play. I have zero doubt that Jair Alexander will not play. Outside of that, I think most people are going to play, at least early. I think we'll get a drive or two out of Jordan Love in the first-team offense. I think we'll see a mishmash of guys on defense. I don't think Kenny Clark will play. But I think, there'll be a decent smattering of starters out there, especially the young guys. And that's as it should be, man. They need the reps. And we've talked about this a lot here, but how many years are we going to sit there week one watching our squad look completely unprepared before, okay, yeah, maybe we need to play some in the preseason? And the fact that there are only 3 games now takes away that final game where you traditionally got an extended look at some of these bottom of the roster types. We're going to probably get some of that on Saturday against the Seahawks, probably the second half, maybe start of the second quarter, what have you. But I think early on, yeah, some of the starters are going to play because they need to. I can't handle coming out of the gate the same way we have the last few years again. I just can't. And I get the sense that Brian and Matt are of the same mind. Especially now that they are not beholden to the franchise quarterback and they can say, look, guys, we need to play in the preseason because we are not coming out stinking to all get out on both sides of the ball in week one. Just not happening. Legless, thanks for the super chat. Not a Packers question, but any thoughts on this John Gruden lawsuit? Well, you see, Legless, you can turn this into a Packers question because John Gruden once coached for the Green Bay Packers. So it's still tangentially Packers related. You're welcome. That said, I have no thoughts. I mean, I'm not going to pontificate about a lawsuit that I certainly have not looked at or read. I've seen headlines about it, but, I wouldn't presume to even begin to know the ins and outs of the case, what he's alleging, what actually happened. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna stick to football on that one. But I appreciate the question. AJ, thanks for the super chat. If you could only keep one long term, Rashan Gary or Jair Alexander, who do you choose? Oh God, this is Sophie's choice. I have to choose one. Rashan Gary or Jair Alexander. I can only choose one. I choose a hybrid player that I create in a lab out of their DNA clone that I made myself that plays a bunch of different positions. That's who I choose. You can't do that to me, AJ Young. That ain't fair, making me choose. But if I'm a man of my convictions, pass rush helps coverage more than coverage helps pass rush. So I guess I'd take Rashan Gary. But I love Jair, so I can't do it. I can't do it, man. That's rough. That's some rough stuff. Lockdown corner more rare, I'd say. It's true. Who did Seahawks lose at receiver? Steven, I know their rookie, the the darling of Packers Twitter during the lead up to the draft, JSN, had wrist surgery, so he won't be playing. Real question, how many times did you watch Mike McCarthy throw his headset last year? Oh, nerdy guy. I'd set the over-under at 732, and I'd still probably take the over. What else we got? Did I miss a super chat? Sorry, guys. No, I got that one. Oh, no, wait. I didn't get this one. George, thanks, buddy. Going to my first home game ever, Week 3 versus the Saints, what jersey do I get in preparation? A classic. Always get a classic because that way they don't leave. You don't want to get some dude and then all of a sudden he's gone in 2 years or whatever. Get a Bart Starr, man. Get a Ray Nitschke. Or, hell, get a Reggie White. Classic. Always go classic. Perfect Dark. Hey, I love Mike McCarthy. So do I, but it's like watching your big brother, like you beat him. It's fine. Like, I love Mike. Anyone who's watched this channel for any length of time knows I love Mike McCarthy, but that was great. It was hilarious. I mean, it's a perfect image. It's so good. You can't beat it. Wow. What have I watched more? The McCarthy headset toss and the McCarthy Jason comment? Oh, that's easy. This is the Jason comment because we had it as the ending of Packer transplants for years. So I've seen that a million times. Speaking of Packer transplants, 2 weeks from today, we will be back each and every week on your Wednesday afternoons to keep you company, get you ready to disseminate everything that happened in the game prior and to preview the game coming up. Corey and I will be back weekly with Packer transplants starting on, I believe it's the 6th, 2 weeks from today. Going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. All right, everybody, I got to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.